Thank you so much for having us in your homes. My name is Faith Tatiana Albernas. It is truly an honor and a privilege to assist Reverend Chris this morning. A couple of things to let you guys know about before service starts. World Day of Prayer. We are so excited to be joining Silent Unity's 27th annual World Day of Prayer. This is a 24-hour prayer vigil with multiple prayer-focused virtual events. Our prayer chaplains will be featured in a special World Day of Prayer Eve Om Hour service at 7 p.m. on Wednesday, September 9th. And our very own Reverend Juan is the keynote speaker in the Spanish language opening ceremony that same evening. He will also share the message and the meditation in the bilingual prayer service on Thursday. For more information on the ways that you can connect to this wonderful prayer energy, go to our website, unityonthebay.org. Spirit groups, yes, our fall book club is starting up soon, and you only have till Wednesday to sign up to be one of our hosts. Being a host means helping facilitate Zoom meetings once a week for 7 weeks. You will get all the training that you need to be comfortable. Through you hosting, you will keep people making lifetime friendships, and what makes it even more amazing is this book that you'll be reading as a community, Gabby Bernstein's The Universe Has Your Back, Transform Fear into Faith. Check out this video.
There's a way of living in the world that is not here, though it seems to be. You don't change appearance, but you smile more frequently. Your forehead is soft and your eyes are serene. I remember the first time I read that passage in a metaphysical text. I longed for it. I wanted that serenity. I wanted that safety. I wanted that security. I wanted that peace. It's far too often that we lean towards fear. We get stuck in the overwhelm of what's going on in the world and all of the doubt that we don't have enough, that we're not supported. We forget to laugh. That fear blocks us from our greatest source of power. That fear blocks us from our greatest source of certainty, safety, serenity, and joy. What if I told you that you could turn your fear into faith? What if I told you that you could turn your doubt into truth? What if I told you that you could turn your pain into joy? There is a way. There is a path that can guide you to awaken to a swell of energy that can move through you. That's when our life begins to flow. That's when our world begins to expand. That's when all that we need is presented to us in ways that are far beyond our imagination. We begin to live in a happy dream. It's available to you now. Open up, become willing, say yes and follow the path. Surrender your fears to a plan far greater than you, and know that the universe has your back.
I love our spirit group, and if you have not joined a spirit group in the past, make this the time that you do so. It really is a wonderful experience. Lastly, claiming your silver lining during a global pandemic. Are you ready to consciously engage spiritual principles to support you in moving through these challenging and unprecedented times? Of course you are. Is this a good time to advance your spiritual growth with practical application tools for greater health, inner peace, and creating a future you desire? Yes! If so, add this online 2-hour workshop with Reverend Charlene Manuel to your calendar on Sunday, September 13th at 1:30 p.m. More information will be coming soon on our website. And now, without further ado, here's Reverend Chris.
Thank you, Faye, and good morning, Unity on the Bay. I'm so deeply grateful for your presence, and I do mean presence. I realize every Sunday morning when I walk into this nearly empty room that we are not together physically, but we most certainly are together in spirit and in consciousness. And you know, my friends, in Unity, we believe that's what really counts. So thank you for being a part of this Unity on the Bay experience. I feel you, and I trust you'll feel the energy coming through each and every word and every note that is a part of this experience that we're extending to you today in love and in unity. Welcome to Unity on the Bay, your path for positive spiritual living. I want to encourage you to get involved in the service here at home. Make yourself comfortable. Get up and shout hallelujah. Dance around the room if you feel so guided. And by all means, join us in the comments section below. We'll interact with you there, and it's almost like being person to person. If this is your first or second Unity on the Bay experience, I want to encourage you to check the comments section below for information on how you can receive a free gift in appreciation for your presence here today. And also give us the chance to get to know you better, and perhaps for you to get to know a little bit more about this amazing spiritual community that we call Unity. Please take a moment and check the comments section. Thank you for being with us. We know, we believe with all of our heart that you are here by divine appointment. The whole universe has positively conspired on your behalf to have you as a part of this experience today. Thank you for saying yes. We believe, and I say it week after week here, that there is a power in the words that we speak. And part of the reason for that power is the thought process that is behind those words. I encourage you this morning to be aware of the power of your words as we exercise that power by affirming together our building our future affirmation. Let's go. We give thanks that Unity on the Bay's right and perfect home is manifesting under the guidance of God. And I want to give you that assurance. It is true. Every day I am witness to how this incredible process, this transformation that we've been waltzing through together is unfolding. And I see the divine order of it all. Let's bring to mind that power of our spoken word again as we affirm the vision and the mission of our spiritual community together. We are an inclusive community serving as a catalyst for spiritual awakening, evolution, and action. Our vision is humanity inspired to its divinity. Beautiful words, and so very true. We are dedicating this morning's service to National Faith HIV/AIDS Awareness Day. The observation engages communities of faith to work together in HIV/AIDS education, prevention, treatment, care, and support, and to reduce and eliminate stigma and discrimination. We want you to know our prayers and our hearts are with all those who have been impacted by HIV and AIDS, their families, and their loved ones. Let's pray. Almighty and divine Spirit of truth that indwells every human heart, we are grateful to be in this place right now in recognition of the reality that there is only one of us here, that we are all intricately involved in the one energy, the one light, the one love, the one presence, the one power that is God. When we gaze out into our world and see such an enormous population, it may be easy for us to take on a sense of separation from our brothers and our sisters in the human family. But the reality is this: we are all one. Every thought we think about another person is a thought we are thinking about ourselves. Every feeling that is evoked in the company and companionship of others is a feeling that has its origin in the center of our being. This means that the most important relationship we will ever have is the relationship we have with ourself, the definition that we offer to ourselves. As we move through this experience this morning, I am inviting you in the name of everything that is sacred and holy to examine carefully the definition, the identity that you have accepted for yourself. And be aware of any ways in which that identity may be out of alignment with the identity that your very Creator, divine cosmic energy, has bestowed upon you. You are a free individual. You are unlimited in nature. Your natural way of being is one of love and peace and compassion and empathy and understanding. On this day and every day of our lives, may we have the vision to behold ourselves in one another, not the mistaken identity we have placed upon ourselves out of lack and limitation and fear, but the truth of our being as God has created us. May we open our eyes every morning, walk and waltz out into our world and behold the same identity in others that we have accepted for ourselves, made in the image and the likeness of everything that is God. made in the image and likeness of peace, joy, love, wholeness, supply, and unlimited awareness of the unity of spirit we all share as individual cells in nothing less than the body of God. That's our prayer this morning, and we pray it in the name and in the nature of the Christ presence, the divine blueprint within us, placed there by God and God alone. We let it be, so it is. Amen.
I keep fighting voices in my mind that say I'm not enough. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure up. Am I more than just the sum of every high and every low? Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know. Ooh, you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I keep falling short, and when I don't belong. Oh, you say I am yours, and I believe. Yes, I believe what you say of me. I believe. The only thing that matters now is everything you think of me. In you I find my worth, in you I find my identity. Ooh, oh, you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I keep falling short, and when I don't belong. Oh, you say I am yours, and I believe. Yes, I believe what you say of me. I believe. Taking all I have, Lord, and laying it at your feet. You have every failure, God. You have every victory. Ooh, oh, you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I keep falling short, and when I don't belong. Oh, you say I am yours, and I believe. Yes, I believe what you say of me. Lord, I believe, and I believe. Yes, I believe what you say of me. I believe.
Beautiful, beautiful. That voice, that voice. Myra, thank you so much for sharing your talent and your beautiful voice with us. And thank you very much, Anthony, as well. Her voice, it carries, right? It carries into your soul, and I know you guys can feel it at home as well. Oh, we're so blessed. It is now time for our daily word. Our daily word today, as we recognize National Faith HIV/AIDS Awareness Day, is being read by one of our congregants, Angel Infinity Camacho. Angel is a national HIV/AIDS community activist since 1989 and has been working in Miami-Dade County providing education on prevention. His passion is helping those who are living with HIV and educating high-risk individuals from exposure to HIV or STI infections. He works with the state's health department, Miami-Dade HIV/AIDS Partnership, LGBTQ, BTAN, PrEP. Angel is also a pioneer and icon in the Florida ballroom scene and is known as Father Angel Infinity. Angel is currently working for Project Access Foundation as an outreach navigator coordinator, working with the underserved and vulnerable communities and providing education and risk reduction counseling services to maintain a healthy lifestyle. Angel, take it away, honey.
Sunday, August 30th, 2020. Light. The light of God surrounds me. When darkness casts shadows in my life or in the life of someone I care about, I call upon the divine light that lives within me and expresses as me. Just as the light of the sun illuminates the sky, the light of God illuminates my mind, brightens my soul, and warms my heart. Even during life's darkest moments, the light of God is always shining within me, just as it shines with all people. Basking in this light, I find the strength and power to lift myself up. Through acts of service and loving kindness, I can be the light that helps guide others through their darkness that they may be facing. Every smile, kind word, thoughtful deed, or offer of help has the potential to brighten someone's day. They rise in the darkness as a light for the upright. They are gracious, merciful, and righteous. Psalms 112:4. Thank you.
Thank you, darling. I loudly throw my big fan up to Angel Infinity and the House of Infinity. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. At this time, as we prepare for a time of guided meditation led by Reverend Chris, I want to remind you that if you have any prayer intentions at all that you'd like to submit, you can do so right now in the comment section, right down below, or you can go to our website, unityonthebay.org/prayer. Our prayer chaplains always make sure to answer each and every prayer intention that comes our way, so make sure that you send it over. So now let us ease into a time of meditation with a song led by Myra, Dale, and Anthony, and we'll put the lyrics up on the screen so you can follow along.
Wake up to the power within. Deep inside, it's always been. With God's love, I learn to forgive. Grace and mercy fill me with a light so divine. I know I am free. Now I live the power within. God has given me everything. Peace, love, truth, wisdom, and strength. Now I lift my voice and sing, and I raise my hands in praise. I have faith, I see that God lives in me. I know I am free.
I invite you to take a deep breath, and on the exhale, center yourself. Close your eyes if that's comfortable and possible for you right now. Release yourself from the compelling appearances of the world outside of you, and sink and settle sweetly into the awareness of God's presence within you. And anytime we land in this internal space, we can always be sure that our viewpoint, our perception will be changed. For as our mind is focused, so is our experience. And when we're looking to people and circumstances and situations outside of us at all times, that is the point of our focus, and that will expand our experience of a reality that exists outside of us. In the same moment, dear friend, it is true that as you release the outer world, as you release individual circumstances, conditions that are taking place outside of you, and focus your awareness and your intention on the presence of God within you, you begin to experience a transformation in every arena of your existence. It is possible for you to place your full attention upon the awareness of the presence of God within you, and in that single act, change the whole world. Now, perhaps this morning, as you scan the content of your experience through this past week, you have had an encounter with a situation or an individual in which you have experienced an emotional reaction, a charge, in which perhaps your button, as we say, has been pushed. You may find yourself in harsh disagreement with another individual. You may find yourself believing that somebody or something else should be different, ought to be different than it is. By facing and placing your attention and awareness on the internal reality of God's presence that indwells you, you can find a place of calm and peace and poise, wherein you begin to recognize your external experience is but a reflection in the mirror of life of your internal dynamic. You, dear friend, are a projector, and you are creating everyone and everything that is a part of your experience according to the content of your own mind and your own heart. Thus, we begin to realize that the most important relationship we will ever have is the relationship we have with ourself, the relationship we have with the presence and the power of God within us that is us. It is impossible to face conflict and disagreement and turmoil with anyone or anything outside of us, unless first and foremost those issues dwell within us. Let us take a moment to invite the activity of the divine to move through us and gently and lovingly clear away all the false concepts we have been holding, all of the erroneous ideas we have been projecting onto others. Own them for ourselves, disclaim their reality and truth, and begin to allow the veil to be raised so that we can see clearly the spiritual reality that we know to be true. And that is the spiritual reality that God is all there is. Thus we pray on this beautiful day to see as God sees, to see beyond our own projections of fear and anger and resentment and betrayal, of believing that others should behave according to our own expectations and standards. Accept all people as they are. See beyond that which we have once believed them to be. See beyond that which we have once believed ourselves to be. And know the reality of all existence is in God and God alone. Take a moment to bring to mind all of your loved ones, your family, your friends, your co-workers, the entire cast of characters in your life, and make a silent and very sweet commitment to each of them, that you will no longer see in them what you and you alone believed was there in terms of any fault, frailty, or shortcoming. That you will see them as you have now chosen to see yourself. Happy, whole, free, here, now. Let this awareness sink still more deeply into the fabric of your being in a moment of stillness and in a moment of silence. Behold the presence of God in all things. Moving forward from this moment, may we always and ever recall that we are seeing ourselves in all others, that we are seeing ourselves in all of life. And who are we, save the miraculous, phenomenal, and beautiful sacred creation of God? We let it be, so it is. Thank you, God. Amen.
Where are you going? Where are you going? Will you take me with you? For my hand is cold, needs warmth. Where are you going? Far beyond where the horizon lies, where the horizon lies, and the land sinks into mellow blueness. Oh, please take me with you. Let me skip the road with you. I can dare myself. I can dare myself. I'll put a pebble in my shoe and watch me walk. I can walk and walk.
I shall call the pebble dead.
I shall call the pebble dead.
We will talk
We will
together
talk about walking. There shall be carried, and when we both have had enough, I will take him from my shoe, singing, meet your new road. Then I'll take your hand. Finally glad you are here by my side. By my side, by my side,
by my side,
by my side, by my
by my
side, by my side, by my side,
by my
side,
that you are here.
by my side.
Thank you, my beautiful friends. A wonderful song. I actually haven't heard that song since about 1975 when I was involved in a production of the show from which it came, Godspell. That was back in my very early Unity Village days. Good morning, everybody. It's wonderful to be with you. Before I get into my message today, I want to share with you a very exciting event that is coming up right around the corner. Many of you who have been around Unity on the Bay realize that for some time now we have been blessed to enjoy the friendship and the occasional presence of one of the greatest minds, I believe, on the scene of humanity today, and that is Dr. Deepak Chopra. And we were very, very excited to hear that he has a new book coming out. This book is called Total Meditation: Practices in Living the Awakened Life. And we've been invited to host an exclusive event at Unity on the Bay with Deepak Chopra. This is going to take place Saturday, September 26th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. It's a 90-minute event that involves a talk by Deepak, also a live Q&A session, questions and answers, and a special guided meditation just for you, just for me. Exclusive Unity on the Bay event. We're so thrilled and delighted and honored that we have this opportunity to share the book and the presence of Deepak with you. We're also making it available to other Unity centers around the country, so we hope to have some guests joining us, but mostly this is for you. It's also a fundraising event to continue the programs and activities and ministry of Unity on the Bay. So please take me up on this invitation. Get your ticket today and have the free book. You get a free copy of the new book. Will be mailed right to your door. Just visit unityonthebay.org and let's celebrate. We can't have him live in person with us this year as we have for many years now, but we will be welcoming Deepak in this live virtual event. So please plan to join us. unityonthebay.org. Get your ticket today. Now, you may not realize that the past 2 weeks, and again this week, I'm sharing topics primarily because I believe they are of great relevance to the circumstances and the situations that we're facing today. Hopefully that's the case every Sunday for you, but most especially, I've seen some opportunities arising in this COVID-19 pandemic specifically. The first one, if you remember a couple of weeks ago, we talked about spiritual healing. There's an incredible opportunity for us to recognize the availability of healing to us. Yes, medically, as we discussed. Yes, physically and mentally, but also spiritually. So we talked about that a couple of weeks ago, and then last week we talked about freedom from addiction. And I thought that was especially appropriate because we're seeing so many opportunities for individuals to free themselves from long-standing addictive behaviors and patterns in the midst of having to sort of confront ourselves and our stuff in the isolation and the solitude that we've gone through. Now, today what I want to talk to you about is perhaps even more important than all of these other issues. It has to do with the ability to see ourselves in others. Have you been cooped up in your home with family, friends, people that you would profess to the world are your dearly loved ones, and yet you're having a little more friction, a little more confrontation, a little more opportunity to learn how to harmonize, to get along in these unusual circumstances? You know, if you lock yourself in a room long enough with anybody, including yourself, there's a likelihood that you're going to have some kind of episode where you're going to be invited to confront something that you think is in the other person that might actually have its origin in yourself. I'll tell you a little story first before we get into this. If you didn't think about this, the very first relationship that ever was the relationship between Adam and Eve. But the story has been misdelivered just a little bit to us, as is some of the translation of various biblical stories and episodes. One day, Eve was in the garden walking with the Lord, and she said to him how much she appreciated this beautiful environment, all the flora and fauna. She loved the animals, but that she was actually of late craving a little human companionship. And God said to Eve, "It's not a problem. I'll just make you a man." And Eve felt that was promising. He said, "Now, there's some things you need to know about this guy before he actually shows up on the scene. One of them is that he will be emotionally distant. He won't understand or appreciate your feelings, and he will always want to put himself and his own needs first." And Eve says, "Well, I think that I can cope with that relatively well. Bring him on." So the Lord reaches down to a clump of clay and begins to fashion and mold it, and he pauses for a moment and turns to Eve to say just one more thing. He says, "There is something else you need to know about this guy." And he says, "What is that?" "You're going to have to convince him that he came first." So, Relationship 101. Yes, indeed. I want to tell you this morning that I don't think this message that I'm going to deliver today is for the faint of heart. And as you hopefully know, with every word that I utter, you're free to take or leave any piece, parcel, or portion of the content of what I'm about to share. It took me years, and it's not like I've accomplished it and it's all over by any stretch. It took me years to get this far in understanding the teaching that I'm going to share with you. And I am continually, trust me on this, I'm continually being given opportunities every day to deepen the awareness of this teaching and to recognize what I have come to believe to be its truth. To walk us into this experience of understanding relationships perhaps in a slightly different way than we ever have before, I want you to take a moment, and if you have a pencil or a pen or paper available to you, or you have a keyboard, I would like for you to actually engage in this exercise at this time. If not, you can just do it sort of mentally, or you can do it later when you have a moment and the necessary materials. But I would like for you to think about 5 things that you really admire in other people. 5 qualities or attributes that you really admire in other people. What might they be? And for myself, as I gave this a little thought, I thought, I really admire spiritual clarity in another person. I really admire a loving disposition. I really admire compassionate people, loyal people, and I really admire talented people. So those were my 5: spiritual clarity, a loving disposition, compassion, loyalty, and talent. But it's not important what my most important 5 are. It's for you to do that exercise. Now we're going to flip it around, and I want you to consider 5 things that you extremely dislike in other people, okay? 5 things you extremely dislike. You don't like to experience in another person. For me, it's a sense of superiority, and kind of coupled with that is an air of arrogance. Arrogance doesn't do much for me. I react to it. Manipulation, manipulative people, when I see blatant manipulation, I don't like that. Hatred, obviously, and insensitivity. Now, once you get these 10 things, 5 things you really like about other people and 5 things you really don't like about other people, here's the part that might be the difficult pill to swallow. And again, take it or leave it. It's up to you. There is no such thing as another person. There is no such thing as another person. You shake your head and say, "Yeah, I think I'm ready to check out of this talk." What in the world does he mean there's no such thing as another person? And here's what I mean. All of these people live in you, in me. There's only one relationship going on here. It's your relationship with you. And whatever that relationship is, you can be sure that you are inevitably, by virtue of the law of the universe, projecting the relationship you're having with yourself, the thoughts you're holding about yourself, the opinions you're holding about yourself, out onto this cast of characters. Believe me on this or believe me not. It matters not so much to me as I believe it can matter to you, because I think it can set you free once and for all from this incessant victimization that we all tend to experience. Here it is, the premise, the expansion of the premise. Everyone and everything in the world you are experiencing is neutral. It's neutral until you show up or I show up and project the content of our own consciousness, our mind, our thoughts, our feelings, our history. We project our consciousness onto this field of neutrality, including everybody and everything. And in so doing, we attract specific individuals and actually give them personality. Okay? This is just something for you to consider. When the content of your own consciousness is peace and love and joy and wholeness and support and supply and unity, that is always then what you will be projecting out onto this cast of characters. The spiritual teacher and relationship expert, in my opinion, Paul Farini, says this: relationships give us the opportunity to withdraw our projections and own them. Everything we think and feel about another person belongs to us, not to the other person. The other person just gives us the chance to look at our own stuff. Bitter, but I still believe true. This may be hard to remember when that person is attacking us, but that is why relationship is a demanding path. Whenever any conflict is experienced in a sacred relationship, both people must be willing to own their happiness and to let the other person off the hook. Off the hook. No one is responsible for your reactions or your projections, you see, except for you. This came to me in just a few verses a number of years ago when, after many, many months, years of turmoil and blame and persecution toward my former partner, I was in meditation one day and these words came to me, and I've never forgotten them since, and I've shared them with you before. Whatever it is that's going on in your dynamics, your relationships with other people, it is never about another person. It is never about another person. The issue is not about another person. It is always about me. It is never about finding blame. Whew, that was a hard one for me, because I'm always like, hey, it was you. If you would just change, if your behavior would shift, if you would stop doing this thing that really irritates me, if you would be somebody other than you are, then I would be perfectly happy, and this relationship would work. It is never about finding blame. It is always about taking responsibility. Always. Blame will get you nowhere except one of the other's bags are packed and they're out the door. Every one of your relationships is a mirror in which you are able to see into your own soul. Your relationships are reflecting the content of your own nature of being, your understanding of yourself. And again, when your relationship is loving, when it's peaceful, just several days ago, I had an encounter, and this is one of the things that I've actually enjoyed about Zoom meetings, which I've been engaged in many of. We were having a Zoom meeting with the Board of Trustees of Unity on the Bay and the staff, several members of the staff. And in that meeting at the end, our board president, Eddie Dominguez, encouraged each one of us to check in. When I'm sometimes in those meetings and I'm just looking at that screen, I'm realizing how incredibly much I love all of these people. Sometimes a minister wonders how to evaluate the success of a ministry. And many people evaluate the success of a ministry by the number of people that are reached, by the quality and the content of messages or music, and all of that has its place. But at the end of the day, the way I choose to evaluate a successful ministry is by the level, the degree, the depth of mutual love and respect and admiration that is shared by the people who make up this spiritual community. And I'm telling you, it was palpable. Toward the end of that call, one of our staff members who joined us relatively recently was saying about how much it meant to them that they had found Unity on the Bay and that they had found this piece of their life that had so enriched them. And by the time this person had finished sharing their commentary, I was in tears, and I know, whether they'll admit it or not, a lot of other people were also incredibly emotionally touched, and they did all admit it. It was a beautiful moment. But I realized how wonderful that is when the guiding, leading body of an organization, of a spiritual community like Unity on the Bay, has that level of being able to see love, respect, understanding, cooperation at that level. We have not had all easy years at Unity on the Bay, and we have not always had this kind of an energy or a vibration that we could lean on to guide this community, but we do right now. And my friends, when you have that kind of content in any relationship with an individual or a group of individuals, you've got something that is more precious and more priceless than anything else in the world. There is nothing that cannot be accomplished by individuals that come together willing to own their own stuff, their own projections, and not continually cast them out on others in an attempt to deny that these qualities they do not like live within themselves. I'll give you a little sneak preview of the book we're going to be studying that Faye mentioned earlier for our Spirit Groups program, The Universe Has Your Back, by Gabby Bernstein. I was doing a little research in anticipation of that series and reading the book, and this is what I came across, and I thought, I've got to share this. I can't wait until we get into the Spirit Groups program. She says, each instant is a holy encounter providing a divine assignment in which you can choose to heal or stay stuck in the bondage of your past. If you choose to show up for these universal assignments with a willingness to heal, then miracles will be presented to you. But if you're not willing to show up for these assignments, you will stay stuck in the stories and experiences that do not serve you. Every individual that comes into your life is there to provide you with an opportunity to see something that you have not been able to see within yourself. It could be a shining star, or it could be something wretched and devastating as far as you're concerned. But we're all here to show each other the hidden content of our own consciousness. Now understand, I'm not saying you have to stay with the offender. I'm not saying you have to stay in an abusive situation by any stretch, but you do, at the end of the day, have to stay with yourself, because you can't get out of that. You're with yourself everywhere you go. So it behooves us, when we are triggered by another person, not to point the finger of blame out here, but rather to investigate the content of our own character and find what it is that we are refusing to accept as living within ourselves and that we are seeking to project onto someone else. My dear friend Kevin Rice, Reverend Kevin Rice, up in West Palm Beach, wrote a book a number of years ago. It's based on the principles of Course in Miracles as they apply to relationships. And Course in Miracles believes that relationships is actually the path to personal salvation. In his book, The Game of Love, Changing the Rules Changes Everything, Kevin says, whenever you are holding a grievance within your mind, and a grievance is anytime you have a disagreement, a pushback, a knee-jerk reaction to somebody, whenever you are holding a grievance within your mind toward anyone, you have a choice. The choice before you is either going to set you free and offer you peace or bind you to further pain and despair. It all depends on you. It all depends on you. It all depends on me. Now, I would encourage you, if you've stayed with me thus far and haven't kicked your screen with your shoe on your foot yet, or wanted to kick me, because this is very self-confrontive work. And self-confrontive work can create self-awareness, greater levels of self-awareness. And if you want freedom in your life, and if you want harmony in your relationships, it has to begin with self-awareness. We have to be willing to wake up. The statement is this: I live in a victim-free environment. I live in a victim-free environment. You're not a victim. I'm not a victim. They're not a victim. He's not a victim. Victim-free environment. Now, Kevin goes on to say in the pages of The Game of Love that you can take an inventory of yourself that will relieve you of the insanity of the experience of victimization that we have all fallen into. The first step is to recognize I am in pain. Now, this doesn't mean you have to be in excruciating pain. It just means you're uncomfortable. Something that has taken place in my dynamic with another individual has made me edgy, or it's made me angry. It could be painful. It could be terribly painful. If someone is threatening to end a relationship that you've been trying to find love in for many years, there are a few things that are more painful than that. So first of all, just recognize I'm in pain. Secondly, this pain is not coming, and this is very difficult when you're feeling attacked and you're in pain. I get it, but here it is. This pain is not coming from anyone or any mistake outside me. My pain is coming only from my interpretation of this event. You are responsible for the way in which you are interpreting all of your interactions with other people. And if you're in pain, it's because of your own interpretation of the event. Here's the third piece. I can change my mind about this and change the experience from pain to freedom, from fear to love. To the degree that you're vigilant in changing your mind, to that extent, your experience of pain will diminish. To the degree that you are able to recognize you are responsible for the projection that is causing the pain, and you can change that perception by changing your mind, now you, not a shift. You see, that's victimization. If you're dependent on somebody else changing in any way, well, I'm not asking that much. I just need a little improvement here. It doesn't qualify. If you're expecting any change from the other person, what are you in the relationship for anyway? Really, I'm serious about this. You are in the relationship because you want to hang out with the person, not the person that you think the person ought to be or should be or could be improved to be, or that you feel super confident you are qualified to improve or enhance. No. It's about being with the other person, just as they are. Total acceptance. Next, I want to change my mind because I want to be at peace again. And I'm responsible for my own peace, and I can have my peace by changing my mind. Help me, Spirit of God, to see this, the name or the situation, differently. Help me to see this. Call upon your higher mind, your higher self, your inner being. Call upon that to see this differently. Help me shift my perception from fear to love. Okay, now, I tried to summarize all of this into a little recipe. And I was going to say, well, you can try this out on your next date if you're single. You can try it on your partner when you get home tonight. But it might be better, I think you'll agree when we get into this, to just practice it yourself a little bit before you go into public settings, because this is big stuff. But I want to just ask you to imagine that you're on your first date with somebody. This is what I have called for years now, agenda-free rapport. Agenda-free rapport. This means that when I am interacting with you, I am going to remove my agenda. What I think you need to do, what I think you ought to do, what I think you have to do, the many ways in which I, above all others, are able to see the manner in which you can improve yourself. That's an agenda. This is agenda-free rapport. And it starts with this statement. I am in this relationship because I want to be. I'm in this relationship because I want to be. Now, here's the part that you might not want to try on your first date or even with somebody you've been with for years, but to yourself. I am free to walk away at any time. You see, there's no obligation here. I'm not here out of obligation or responsibility. I'm here because I want to be here. Isn't that awesome? Wouldn't you love to know that everybody that was hanging out with you just because they wanted to be with you, not because they wanted to change, improve, or alter you? Next, you are not responsible for my happiness. I am. You are not responsible in any way for my happiness. I am. Here's a great one. I'm not holding you accountable to meet my expectations. You know, expectations are something we like to keep hidden until they're violated, and then we like to bring them out and make a point, a major issue out of the fact that someone violated our expectations when they didn't even know those expectations existed. It's always been a puzzlement to me. Next, I am here to love you unconditionally. I don't care what you do. I don't care who you are. I don't care how you choose to express. I am here. My assignment is to love you unconditionally, not so much even for your benefit as for my benefit. Because when I'm loving unconditionally, I'm operating in my natural whole self, and that feels really good. And finally, let us walk together in freedom and in joy. And by walking together, I don't necessarily mean side by side. Sometimes relationships come and relationships go in our life. But walking together meaning we are jointly not going to hold grievances and objections toward one another. At least I can say for myself, I'm not going to hold them. Now just imagine if you were in a holy host of relationships. You know, I'm not in a significant other relationship with one other person, and there's a reason for that for me right now. It's because I have so many significant other relationships, I can hardly keep track of all of them. And I want every one of them. I want my relationship with you right now in this moment to be one of total, unconditional acceptance and love. I'm tired of walking through my life holding up my standards, my objectives, my demands, and then seeking to get everybody to conform to them. For me, that path has not worked for decades, and I'm convinced it never will. So if you've stayed with me so far, Unity on the Bay, hang in for just one more moment as I tell you, you have the ability to create relationships that are unconditional in nature if you will take responsibility for everything within your own consciousness that in any way you have been seeking to project out onto others to make them less than, to make them unqualified, to make them worthy of being cast away from your experience, and instead embrace them from the understanding that the only reason we're here is to practice expression of that which we are. And that which we are is love. Love you.
Chris, I should have learned how to do shorthand. I was so busy taking so many notes, right? Weren't you guys also? What an incredible message. I mean, it's all about relationships, right, Reverend Chris? Thank goodness that we record this and you'll be able to go back and rewind and write all this stuff down. Look at all these notes I got. Thank you. We are so blessed to belong to this incredible community, Unity on the Bay. Right, guys? Yes, Faye! And, we are spiritually fed every Sunday, and we especially appreciate you guys during these challenging times. Our Sunday celebrations and Om Hour are the primary ways in which we are financially supported. We are continuing to be mindful, serving as good stewards of all we have and all we receive, while we provide necessary programming to support you, our community. Your giving is made simple through text giving, or you can go to our website. If you want to give via text, please text UOTB to 73256. That's UOTB to 73256. You set that up one time, and it makes life a lot easier. Or you can, of course, go online to unityonthebay.org, and you can do that there. We'll put all that information on the screens for you, and we'll bless these gifts together. Let's hold our phones to our hearts. Divine love. That I am. Blessed is all that I give and all that I receive. It's time to bring the kids up. Bring them up, bring them up, bring them up. Hi, kids. Hi, guys. We miss you. We miss you. We will all be together soon. I promise you, okay? And you can put a picture of them in the comment section. We love to see the little guys every Sunday, so please do that for us. And also your four-legged kids as well. So let's bless these kids together. Let's get our hands ready. Unity on the Bay. Children, we love you.
We bless you.
We appreciate you. We behold the Christ in you, and we see you doing great things. Now, starting next Sunday, September 6th, we'll be having our Kids Zone during both our 9:30 a.m. and 11:15 a.m. services. So this means there will be 2 Kids Zones every Sunday instead of just one at 3:30 p.m. Again, this starts on September 6th, and more details are available on our website under the Families menu. If you're watching us for the first or second time, we'd love to get to know you better. So text NEW, N-E-W, to 305-573-9191. That's NEW to 305-573-9191. If you'd like for us to pray for you, we're also going to put a link in the comment section right now for more information, and so you could submit your prayer intention that way. Now, Dale will lead us in the prayer for protection.
The light of God surrounds us.
The love of God enfolds us.
The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you so much for being with us today. Now, please join us as we sing together the peace song, and be sure to have an amazing week.
Indeed.
Thank you.